Calling all warriors and troopers that's willing to step up and accept the challenge. Just got a question. Who's down to answer the call? We need to answer the call, right? You down to answer the call, right? I'm down to answer the call. We need some starters, yo. We need some thinkers, yo. As largest in charge, yo. We doing it major, yo. Who's down to answer the call? We down to answer the call. Putting our foot down on the neck of the devil, right? Our mentalities is to never get settled, right? So who's with us to take it to the next level? Take off on go mode like all gas, no brake pedal. Taking over city to city, going from state to state, invading the whole planet from the Pacific to Atlantic. What? We official, not artificial, pure and organic. Feeding you that manna, no manifest of that milk dress. Let's take SC out of sickle, turn the cell into well. Drop KLE out of ickle, add it with apostrophe M. Now what that spells? Say it. I'm well. How you feeling? We good. I'm well. Who's down to answer the call? We need to answer the call, right? You down to answer the call, right? I'm down to answer the call. We need some starters, yo. We need some thinkers, yo. As largest in charge, yo. We doing it major, yo. Who's down to answer the call? We down to answer the call. I say you and I can come together in unity, lay the foundation, straighten up our community. Under one yard, the creator who oversees. Sickle cell doesn't have us though we live with the disease. You and I can come together in unity, lay the foundation, straighten up our community. Under one yard, the creator who oversees. Sickle cell doesn't have us though we live with the disease.
Fell asleep for a minute, I was scared. I didn't feel my heartbeat, man, was I dead? Running out of air as I passed out. Now I understand why my cells be dying. Red ones, let me break it down like a fraction. BBC wasn't always a rapper. I used to love sin. I drank, I started walking backwards. I didn't have the power, I never did action. Born with the sickness is a challenge, was holding me captive. This is a weakness, but Christ is my passion. I'ma keep blessing and confessing. Tired real sick, so I fell. Proclaim my healing. Christ is who I'm feeling. Sticking me, poking me, over-medicating me. In this hospital, I hope they release me. The battle of the genes. The battle of the genes, Lord set me free. From this battle of the genes, I got the victory. The battle of the genes, Lord set me free. From this battle of the genes, I got the victory. The battle of the genes, Lord set me free. From this battle of the genes, I got the victory. The battle of the genes, Lord set me free. From this battle of the genes, I got the victory. Tired of feeling sick, never lost my focus. But once in a while, we feel so hopeless. Been sick my whole life, but I kept the fight. Then 20 years later,
this is The Call, and we are calling it out for advocacy today. And so we just want to thank everybody. We got my brother WDC on the deck with us.
What's
and
up?
We want
What's
to thank
up?
you for that. And his guest, Jody. Jody, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
We're also going to be hitting it up from ATL with Diamond and Omika, who are down at the PFE, the Patient Family Educational Symposium, going on down in Atlanta this week. And so we'll hear from them. And then Shabrian, who is having a bit of a crisis with traffic right now.
Yeah.
And so she'll be
Lots
in
of
here
cars
and
on the
she'll
freeway.
be talking
Lots of
about
cars.
a recent advocacy experience that she had. And so we're going to kick the show off with someone else who's associated with the SC3 Consortium, Dominique Friend. And she's going to be addressing the issue of advocating for ourselves in the ED department and the response that our community is having towards these issues that we're having in the emergency room department. And so is Dominique on the line?
Let's see. You live with The Call? Hello, this is Dominique.
Hi, Dominique. Thank you for calling in. Oh, I'm so excited to
Hey,
talk to
Kim.
you. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Hello.
Now, last March, we had the leadership summit for the SC3 consortium, and I was so amazed by that event and really, really hopeful because of the work that is being done through that fine organization. And Dominic, could you do me a favor, just tell people who you are a little bit as far as the consortium and the work that you do?
Yes, I'm Dominique Friend. I am an activist and author for sickle cell disease. I too have sickle cell, and I am. I started a nonprofit organization. The name of it is Sickle International Family Coalition, and I wrote a book, Sickle: A Personal Story of Pain, Purpose, and Perseverance, to be an encouragement to the patients like myself and others, but also more importantly to be to help educate the medical community from the patient's perspective of what it's like living with this disease on a daily basis and how we have to deal with stigmas and discrimination. So we'll talk a little more about that, Kim, but that's a little bit about me and who I am.
Wonderful.
And I thank you so much for
Again.
allowing me to come on the show and talk a little bit about this really big movement that the sickle community is about to embark on.
Well, we're so excited about that. You know, we're all about unity in the community here. And so we want to unify in our effort to respond to the issues that are affecting all of us. Something that, I mean, for those of us who are in the disease community and know what the experience is like in the emergency room, it is a issue that certainly needs to be addressed. And so I'll allow you to speak to a little bit more about what's going on with that.
Okay. Well, at our March event here in Atlanta, we get together, the Sickle Cell Consortium get together annually to discuss some of the major issues that we need to address in the sickle cell community. And at the consortium, we actually had a kickoff with a press conference announcing to the public that we will no longer stand by and be silent regarding the discrimination and the cruelty that we receive in emergency departments. I know every sickle cell patient out there, almost every adult patient, unfortunately, have one negative experience of
At
being
least
mistreated in the ED.
Yes, yes. And as a sickle cell patient, I know.
We wanna,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go
Dominic.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying
Okay,
as a sickle
what
cell
we
patient,
want
that's
to
really
do is to really unify. We want to come together, and we want to really put it out there to the community that, hey, we're no longer going to stand by and suffer. We're no longer going to go home and cry silently because we were mistreated or disrespected in the emergency department. We're no longer going to let the medical community continue to mistreat us. Now, don't get me wrong, because there's definitely medical doctors and nurses who are champions for us.
Absolutely.
And we are honored to have those stand with us, you know, but unfortunately there's many, many out there who do not understand the disease and unfortunately mistreat us. So, you know, we're not going to just stand by anymore.
Okay. And so what is the response that we're going to have in the community? How is that going to manifest?
Okay. The way it's going to manifest is, first of all, we want to, number one, unity is the key. And what do I mean by unity? That means come together, stand together. The most powerful tool we have right now is social media. So what we're asking right now our community to do is when you go into these hospitals, when you go into the ED or the hospital period or a clinic and you're mistreated, click on that record button on your phone. Record that experience. If you can't, if you feel, you know, intimidated by recording them, then document every single detail of the disrespect or every single detail of the cruelty that you was treated and send it to us. We're asking people to send their stories. we're asking warriors to stand up and take a stand. And that means, like I said, video your experiences. We need those experiences. We need to show the public. The public need to hear and see what we are going through.
And that's
if they can send those stories to justice at sicklecellconsortium.org.
Justice at
Justice,
sicklecellconsortium.org.
Sicklecellconsortium.org.
That's beautiful. Justice at sicklecellconsortium.org. And again, Dominique, thank you so much for sharing that, because we do have to have a response. And I was trying to find an article that I read some time back about doctors' responses to being taped. And I remember it being something that they weren't really fond of. But, I don't really care if they're mistreating us, then we need to get that kind of information too. And also it will help to have an advocate there for you, because advocates can help in taking information, and they can also help in doing the taping. Sometimes, we're having to fight from our backs, and we're the sick people being asked to do things like that. And as we move forward with the show, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dominic.
That even if you're afraid, you don't have to hold the phone up and video. It's okay, because it's about what they're saying.
Amen.
So just hit record and sit the phone down and just let it record.
And let it record.
Those
Absolutely.
Cool statements that we hear all the time.
Yeah,
so
like
it's okay
I'm uncomfortable with giving you that medicine when your uncomfort is leaving me in pain.
Exactly.
All right, Dominic. Well, I
want
to thank you, Dominic, for calling in and sharing that information with me. We're going to be going down to ATL right now. Is Diamond and okay?
They're not ready yet.
Diamond and Mika are not on the line, so maybe we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on with that. Because, again, we are really, really looking for people to respond in unity.
So don't forget to call in. Let me give the 323-473-3100. You see the number up on the screen right there, 323-473-3100. Make sure you call in and make that call to us. If you have any comments or any questions, we'll take that call. And
yeah, we'd love to hear from you, hear how you'd feel about taping your incident.
Well, we got a guest here right in front of us. Jody, do you want to say something? DBC?
I just want to say I'm glad to be here. I mean, we live in this battle every day. And I think if we change our diets and institute, the spiritual part with it, we can go further. We can feel a lot better about ourselves. I try to stay away from emergency rooms because, like she said, we get bad treatment. And we can report it. So I'm just glad to be here, sharing my story.
Amen.
Ain't no stopping us.
And I'm with you on that, Jody. I think that the real answer for us is to take the power away from them by using the power of God that we have in our community in a really effective manner to try and heal ourselves and take the power away from the drug pushers in the hospital and the dope pushers. I can get off on a tangent with this subject.
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm not going to go there. But
I know Dominique is still there. How you doing, Dominique? We're not strangers. I'm doing good. I wanted to ask my question about this conversation. You mentioned at least everyone has like one bad experience, right, at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
How do we allow for a brand new experience without even holding on to that one experience? Because a lot of times, if that one experience defines us, then we're always going to look for that negative context as soon as you hit the door. So I believe there's a sense of responsibility on our community itself. It's not just on the medical professionals, but how do we tell our community to be responsible for your actions and, like you say, account for them, but also allow that new experience? Because if you're carrying baggage into the hospital as a point of view, you're always going to find the lack in some area. I mean, nothing is perfect even in practice of the medical community. So how do we empower that part of it as well?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that question. Not only do we need to educate the medical community on how to treat us, we need to be educated on how to effectively advocate for ourselves, which means
the show's about
learn
today.
the hospital system. Okay, we know we're not going to, it's about changing policy, warriors. It's not about cussing the doctor out, unfortunately. We don't want to go in because we have that bad reputation that sickle cell patients are hard to deal with, and they are disgruntled. So it's not about using profanity and cussing the doctor out or being nasty with the nurse, because that's not where we change policy. So what we need to do is, even just like the Bible say, and I know a lot of us sometimes may have a hard time with this, when the Bible tells us to turn the other cheek,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but it's not good to do evil to evil, period. So I'm not saying treat, anybody bad because they're treating us bad.
Right.
So what I'm
Exactly.
trying to say is also the patient has rights right there, that they can be privy to right there, which means, like, for an example, every hospital has a patient care, I guess they call a patient coordinator or
risk
and
management or
they-
care coordinator or something like that.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like a patient
Advocate,
coordinator.
yeah, patient
Oh,
advocate.
patient advocate.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you,
patient
Ken. That's
advocate.
what I was trying to say. A patient advocate. And that patient advocate is supposed to, be there for us to help us. Sometimes, unfortunately, I have the experience where I've reached out to the patient advocate and the patient advocate still backed the doctor up, even though he was in the wrong. When that happened, I documented it. And then I, actually met with the president of the hospital and told the president of the hospital, hey, I want to be a part of the solution. Allow me to come in and just share my story with your staff so that they could be better at what they do. Most of them don't want to treat you bad. They need to better understand. They want to do better. Hospitals don't want to be shamed for the things that they are doing. That's why, it's going to be imperative that, we have those stories documented, and if the experience is bad, then we need to document those. We need to video those so that we can teach them how to do better. Because I believe they really want to do better. They just don't know and they don't understand. So to the patients, again, we have other rights and we need to learn what our rights are, and definitely use those. And unfortunately, sometimes it don't always work, but at least try.
Absolutely. And again, I think that some of our coordinated efforts will manifest in a way of providing information for our patients to have with them in hospital. Also with providing some opportunities in the way of webinars and things like that for advocacy, education, and helping people to understand all those factors that you talked about. So thank you so much, Dominic, for sharing that. And again, just know that the call is with you if there's any way that we can support you and what you're doing. And I know that I'll be working with you on our continued response with the ED department through the SC3 Consortium, and I look forward to that. And I just want to thank you for your time today and for talking to us. Thank you so much. Hello? Oop, did we lose him?
Bye-bye.
Oh, she said
Okay.
bye.
All right. Thank you, Dominic.
All right.
And we got Shay B. Bella, who just walked in.
What's up?
How you doing, baby? Sorry about that hard ride you had here. Oh my goodness, it's horrible. But I thank you for putting forth the effort to make it too, because that's a long drive.
Yeah.
It is. You coming from up out in Lancaster to get to LA.
Not even Lancaster no more.
Oh,
That would've been
that's
quicker
right.
than-
You're not in Lancaster. You're
Yeah.
in Victorville.
Yeah.
Make sure you pull
Okay.
that microphone close to you so you can hear.
Oh,
People
okay.
can hear you.
Yeah.
You got something to say.
I do. I have a lot to say.
All right. let's
Is
right into
is
it.
it my turn?
Yeah, go
go
right
right
ahead,
into
baby.
it.
Okay.
Mia
Well.
will be calling in a second.
Okay, cool. Well, I would like to talk about my experience in the hospital that I had this past week. I just got, I call it released. I got released on Monday. They let me out. Funny story. The doctor that I had issues with actually wouldn't even come and see me, like to discharge me. She just discharged me by herself without seeing me or anything. So But I'm going to get into that story soon. I just want to go over the 5 things that make a good hospital visit before I talk about what I went through. You know, to be prompt and professional with my tests. Don't try to run a drug test before you give me pain meds because that happens. Listen to me about my pain regimen and what works for me because I know my body. I've been in it for 27 years now. So I know what works and what doesn't work. I really like nurses and doctors who are caring and, you know, not just there for a paycheck, compassionate. I really love it when nurses and doctors are actually educated about sickle cell and it's not just,
Absolutely.
yeah, you have sickle cell? Oh, I know a little bit about it, but, you know.
Doing the WebMD treatment of sickle cell.
Right, and, you know, it's okay if you're not educated, but don't be, like, still ignorant. If you need to know more, I don't have a problem. I will definitely school people on how sickle cell works, and, you know, if you're willing to learn, I don't have a problem with that, but it's just the ones that's just, like, they think they know because something they read, and it's just like, no, that's not how it works, sweetie. 5 is getting my pain meds on time. That's very important because when they slip up and miss a whole hour and you call in and they just nowhere to be found, that's an issue for me. You know, then you're sitting in pain a whole nother hour. The pain meds take longer to work, or it works, but it wears off too fast. So, you know, that's, you know, that.
Stressful.
Right.
So you're saying these are the 5 things that you feel when you go to the hospital should be managed by the staff?
Yeah, that's what should happen in a visit. It's not, you know, I don't feel like I'm asking for too much. I don't feel like, you know, I'm asking them to treat me like Beyonce.
Right.
I just want them to treat me fairly.
Have you had experiences where you did get the proper treatment?
Yeah, plenty of times, and
Okay.
I appreciate that, and I love the fact that, you know, when I deal with caring, compassionate nurses and doctors who really care about what it is I'm going through and how we can, you know, and the root of the problem, because the pain is just, you know, caused by something else. It's not just pain. And some doctors think, oh, I'm going to treat your pain and that's it. Like, no, what's causing this pain?
Exactly.
Figure out what's causing it. You know, treat my asthma on top of that. Even if my asthma isn't that bad, like, do everything you can do to let's really get this done. Like, I want to get out of here and not feel like I'm still dying.
Have you had decent treatment at the hospital that you just came from before?
The one I just got out?
Yeah, you just got released from? Have you
No.
had any decent treatment there at all? Or
Okay, I can say when I first got there, they took me back quickly because I was sitting at 87%. So my oxygen was low. So instead of having me sit outside and, you know, just giving me oxygen, they took me right back.
Yeah.
They were prompt with getting me, you know, my oxygen. You know, some places you have to ask for oxygen and they don't even want to give it to you.
Right.
Like, so they gave me the oxygen. They just, you know, they.
yeah, we do have a call actually.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Show now.
All right, you're live on the call.
I mean, hey, this is Diamond Ray.
What's up, D Ray?
Hello, Mika.
What's up?
Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Diamond.
Hey,
Man, what's
we're
going on
live
with you
on
guys?
location
Okay.
All right.
in Atlanta, Georgia, at the 4th annual Sickle Cell Educational Family Symposium, Patient and Family Symposium, and we're having a great time. This is the night after Omika and I have hosted the Playroom.
Beautiful.
It was a great evening. A lot of people turned out. It was great to be around our sickle cell peers. Charlie Black performed. That was great. Kiera Coffer performed. Angela Waters performed. It was a great evening. Oh, I performed as well.
I hope so,
course,
brother.
right.
Leave your magic out, man.
And Charmaine Sherrill closed the show out. She was our finale.
And Charmaine
cool.
Sherrill. Ah,
Cool
we
deal.
love you, Charmaine.
Hey, how's the weather?
It's hot, bro.
It was raining earlier,
It's hot in
but
LA
it's really
too.
humid out here. Nothing like California weather.
So what do you got? What information you want the community to know that really went on that symposium that they missed? Like, what information you want to tell them about that they can go on the social media and look for?
Well, I believe they had on our. If you go to the No Pain in the Playroom Facebook page, we taped the talk about Indari, the new drug, the new sickle cell drug.
Right.
Okay, I've heard about that.
So they gave more specific details about that, and I do want to let somebody know, KC, that SCADA, their representative, is here, and they were saying that they want to do so much in the sickle cell community, and that they are working hard on the
They
sickle
have
cell
a lot of
community.
plans.
Absolutely.
For the
I
future.
know Scott has been
actually,
putting it down for a
attended
while.
that meeting, and we do need to link up with them and maybe have them on the show in the
Yeah.
future
It's
because
coming.
they
just-
are working on
It's
some
coming.
great things.
They just got a grant, so they got millions of dollars over there.
Right,
They're sitting on
right.
millions of dollars over there. That's
Right.
why.
And again, we want to see how our leadership represents for unity, and that's what it is with SCADA. You know, when I think about SCADA, when I think about
That's
SC3,
what it is with
I want
what's
our
going on right
leaders
now
to,
as well.
to represent for unity as well. You know, I mean, they've been leading our community for a long time now, and so again, it's certainly something that they could speak to, and I know they've been doing a lot of great work. Man, we're so happy that you guys are having a great time down there, though.
Yeah.
And,
Any,
doing
anything
the
else?
work.
Oh man, I
Putting
wish
it
you
in.
guys could see us at this moment.
I wish I could.
We're getting ready for the Sickle Cell Prom, the Bold Lips and Bow Ties Awards Gala and Prom.
Ah, y'all dressed
We're all
up.
looking
Y'all must be
handsome.
dressed up, G'd up.
All right, so y'all gonna be
Oh yeah, we're dressed up.
y'all gonna be publishing some photos to the call site, I'm sure.
How you two
So we can
feeling
see
health
what
For
y'all
wise?
doing.
sure, we will.
How you guys
for sure
feeling?
will.
We'll
How you guys
definitely
feeling
do
health
that.
wise?
Jody wants
You
to
know
know.
we have to represent.
Absolutely.
You know we have to represent the Caldwell, so we're dressed to impress.
I know
And
that.
also, for people who follow the Call Facebook page, I did our first on-site live interview with Charlie Black about his performance last night, and also doing the theme song. But if you guys haven't checked that out, I actually have Charlie here if you want to talk to him.
Hey, we got a minute for Charlie Black.
You got a minute, Charlie?
Hey, what's going on?
Charlie.
Hey, CB, man, we just want to thank you for laying it down for the call, man. We played your drop at the beginning of the show, and man, I love it. It is exactly what the call is about, man. It's the call to unity. It's the call to really gravitating towards the spirit in our community and the fact that, you know, we are united already. And so we're united in the blood. Man, thank you for bringing such a beautiful message for us, brother.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure as well. I'm glad to be a part of, you know, such a great organization, you know, to, you know, uplift the community. And I felt like this is a great platform to, you know, educate people and let them know, like, you know, this sickle cell is priority to us. You
Absolutely, brother. And we're going to keep bringing it, man. We want to thank you for your time. And again, you guys just do it up down there in ATL, man. I keep wanting to call it LA, but it's ATL. In the ATL. I know y'all doing it dirty down south, and we're loving it.
Yep, dirty, dirty.
Dirty, dirty.
Hey, Charlie, before you go, man, what's your relationship to sickle cell, man, if any?
Yeah, I have sickle cell SS.
Okay. Let them know.
All right. Warrior walk.
Warrior's
Warrior
life
walk.
right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All
Yep.
right.
Y'all
David
have
and Omika,
fun.
y'all have
Turn
fun
up.
down there. Turn it up. Turn it up.
I appreciate y'all.
Okay.
Appreciate y'all too.
All right, so
All
we
right.
got some time
All right,
left.
all right. Daniel
I
Ray.
think, I think Nita's on.
Omika.
She said she was on hold.
And, you know, we're No Pain in the Playroom, representing on location for the call.
Right
Cool,
on,
man.
brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, Mika.
Bye-bye.
Drink plenty of fluids.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I stay
Yeah,
with
we
water.
didn't even say
Staying
that.
with the water.
I was gonna ask y'all how y'all. I was gonna ask y'all how y'all feel health wise.
Because that's a lot of work.
I
down
feel
there.
good.
Good.
So
All right.
feeling good.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
We all feel semi-good.
Yeah, we're all doing good, bro.
I'm feeling good, y'all.
Yeah. we're all-
All right, let's
I
see.
feel
All right, you guys. Well,
Peace out.
we got to get going.
All right,
You
cool.
guys have a great call, great show.
All right, take
Outta
care.
here.
All right, thanks for calling in, guys.
Let's see, so is Nita? Is
Yeah, I
Nita
thought
Thompson
Nita was
there?
on the line.
I heard her.
Yes, I'm here.
There she goes.
Hey,
What's up, Nita?
Hey, honey, we got about 3 minutes left, and I just want you to talk just a little bit about in-hospital advocacy. And, I wanted this was part of Chebrion's bit about her experience because you advocated for her. So I'm going to let you two kind of just talk a little bit about that. Go ahead, Nita.
Okay, it's a we thing because you and I advocated, actually.
That's true. I piggybacked on advocacy, my first advocacy, and it was a real learning experience for me. It was.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that too soon on the call. We're going to start up again, and we'll be able to talk to 400 people on each call, educating about advocacy, about patient rights. That's the first thing people have to know about.
Absolutely.
But we can. Sometimes we deal with the brick wall, shall I say, attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we can chip away at it, or we can knock the thing down, but it takes a while to do both. But it depends on each different doctor. So, yeah, Shay was in and had a real weird and very usual experience. But some of the things that people can do is just to be on the phone. If you can't have an advocate with you, there by your bedside, at least have somebody on the phone because they can still witness what's going on and report what's going on.
Absolutely.
But when you have the challenge, the first thing we have, well, it also depends on the time of day, but you just start going up that chain of command sometimes. Start at the top and then go back to the regular chain, because at least when you let administration know there's an issue, or whoever the higher up is, there's an issue, then you bring it back down to the charge nurse or the night nurse, depending on the day or whatever's happening. But you just start there and advocate and do the best you can.
Beautiful, Nita. You know what? I want you guys to look for, watch the call page for those events coming up where we're going to be doing some training on advocacy, how you can advocate for yourself or have others advocate for you, because this is one of the, what I feel one of the greatest needs is in our community, is for us to understand what our rights are, what treatment we should be expecting and have a right to expect. We cannot certainly hold people legally responsible, but we're certainly going to hold them responsible in some way for not giving us the best treatment that their own people tell us we should have. You know, when the CDC says,
That's
okay,
right.
this, we recommend the NIH standards, and they ignore not only the NIH standards, but the CDC recommendation to the NIH standards, okay, they're ignoring two of the strongest groups that speak to these issues. And when they do that, I think they need to be able to answer for that and why they're doing it. It can't just be because I'm not comfortable. That because, again, you're leaving people who are suffering and you know,
I don't think they really understand what's going on inside the body when you're in a crisis, and the organ damage or the whatever's possible.
Excuse me. Yes, they do. Yes, they do know, because they're trying to do school. So let's not go there. And one day when I got to tell you guys the real, I do want to say one thing real quickly. What Dominique said is true. Use your phones. However, you will get in trouble if you're taping other patients. That's why you want to hold your phone down. If you can do that. You can hold it to the floor and you can tape people's feet. In fact, we have one community member that did that, and we showed who came in just by their feet and what was said. And that was one powerful tape that we're actually using when we meet with our representatives to show people the real. So just remember, if you're going to tape, that's cool. Other than that, like Dominique said, just keep it on your bed. You might have to cover it up because doctors do get intimidated, and they will take your phone and they will tell you to shut it off, or they will walk out and not treat you. So you just have to know what you got to do and do it well.
Right, and we're going to educate people on that, Nita, you and I. We're going to educate people on that. We're calling you out.
Okay.
Sickle
Well,
cell
please,
warriors,
I know my time
leaders,
is up.
doctors, and caregivers.
This is the call.
Tune in to the call Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, only on LA Talk Live.
This is the call.
To sickle cell trait awareness.
This is the call.
To acceptance of yourself and others around you.
This is the call.
To finding your purpose through creativity.
This is the call.
To living above sickle cell.
This is the call to unity in community.
So call in 323-473-3100 to
The Call.
Saturdays 5 p.m. Pacific, only on LA Talk Live.
This is the call.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just